I've been working for people my whole life. I've been growing businesses and organizations for other people my whole life. Is this something I really want to continue doing, or is this something that we want to do for ourselves? And my husband was the first one to say, you have so much potential to grow a business that we create, that you've been doing it for so many people for so long. If you could only take your talents and put it to work for us, just imagine where we'll be. And that really kind of planted the seed for me. And so
Hello and welcome to Dream Start Own, the path to own your time. I'm your host, Edgar the Connector, and today we have Luz Ramirez. She's an all-star in the sub-2 group, Pace's best friend. Maybe not. That's the way we see it, and I'm honored to have her on the show today. I know she's doing a little bit of grants, or is that your main focus?
So thank you for having me on, first of all. I have done a lot of grants in my history in the work that I have done. So it's just something I do. It's a skill set I have. It's not really what I do or my focus, but it happens to be something that I am pretty good at. And I've managed to secure funding over the years. I would say well over $50 million in free grant and free funding, just in being able to provide programming for the different services that we've offered. So I've worked in the education field. I was there for a long time, and then I moved into the nonprofit world. And so with nonprofits, we provide a lot of services to the underserved populations. And so what you do is you identify many gaps that exist. We may provide some services, but there are gaps. And so pursuing funding to be able to provide those services that are missing is what I've done a lot of the work on. And then, of course, then creating the departments and the staff to be able to provide those services once I secured the funding.
Oh, fantastic. The grants that you get that you were working on, what type of grants is it for? I know underserved, is that like sober living or veterans?
So a little of everything, because we were a holistic agency, meaning that we tried to provide fill all the needs of a client that came into our office. I would secure funding for all types of reasons. So we had funding for children who were involved in the Department of Child Family Services. So the system, we would work with the families, provide education to them, help them work through their service program, their service plan. We also had funding for moms who were pregnant prenatally but came from a background of trauma. So they struggle with bonding with their babies, and so the program provides weekly home visiting to help educate them, help build that bond. We had funding for immigrant services, individuals who were residents of the U.S., legal permanent residents, but maybe lack the language skills. So we were able to provide them with assistance in accessing the services available to them, maybe because of cultural or language barriers. We would provide that assistance in filling out paperwork, getting them to offices, connecting with appointments. We also provided education, ESL classes, English second language classes. So if they couldn't speak English, they would enter the program and be able to learn English through us. We had low literacy classes, workforce development. Anybody who was unemployed or underemployed, we provided them a program where we paid them for their time to be in class, provide them with certifications, and then provided them with a connection to a partner employer so that they could secure employment, and then we paid them for the internship. So a little of everything. So the grants can be for just about anything. It depends on what the need is and who's offering the grant opportunity. And then you try to do a connect and figure out, okay, this is what I need. This grant is offering this. Let me write a program or an application for what I want and what I can provide. And then if they like it, they give me the money. So yeah.
Wow, so many good reasons you were getting grants for. It's amazing.
Absolutely. Yeah.
How does somebody that want to get into starting looking for grants, is there one place that they can go to, or is it just all over?
It's all over. There are grants that come from all over. There are grants that come from the federal government, grants that come from the state level, grants that come from your local government municipalities. It could be your city, it could be your county office. There are corporations that give grants, give funding out, and there are foundations. So it just really depends on what area you're working in and what's available in your local area, what's available in your state. And at the federal level, it's a little bit bigger. But there is a lot of funding that comes out from the federal government. And my biggest key or suggestion is that if you're looking for a niche population, let's say veterans, you brought up veterans. If you're looking to house veterans, find out who is receiving funding to house veterans. And if they are in your area, reach out to them and then find out, okay, I provide housing. You you house veterans. How can we work together so that I can provide the housing that you need to house the veterans? That is probably the quickest way, and I would say the cheat code to being able to get access to funding. So you're not applying directly for the funding, but they will pay you because they're receiving the funding and they need to house the veterans, and you're providing a piece of the puzzle.
I love it. That's something I need directly because I want to help out more veterans. Something I actually lost my brother in the war in 2006, so that just gives me another elevation to help out veterans. I've always respected them, but I'm gonna save that and start doing that soon. Okay, so what is your focus on today since grants isn't the thing anymore, but you probably still have access to it?
Yeah, so I do consulting for grants. So anybody who's interested in, jumping on a call with me, before that I do an assessment, find out where you are in the process, what it is that you're interested in looking for. And then in our consultation, I do help guide you and say, okay, here's some options for you, here's some possibilities, here's where you can go, here's what you can do. So that is one of my active income sources, is the consulting. And aside from that, I have a portfolio of buy and hold properties with my husband. So we do rent out properties. A lot of them are rented out through a social service agency. So I am working on providing housing for survivors of domestic violence. So many of our tenants are families who have left a situation where there was violence in their relationship, and now they're living in a safe, affordable home. And separately, I am working with a partner to provide co-living options. And so we're looking in the northwestern part of Illinois, southern Wisconsin, and then also working in northern Florida. And it's kind of the same premise. We're providing co-living shared spaces. We're working with service providers to see what their needs are so that they can house their individuals with us. So pretty much following what I said with the grants. I know that there are a lot of agencies and organizations out there receiving funding to house individuals, and we have access to housing. So what we're doing is we're working with them directly to find out what housing they need, so we can then find the housing exactly for them to house their tenants and their clients. Mm.
Wow, so many good reasons for co-living and being able to help out people that have been abused. Where can people find you at? I know you have a buy box that Pace has really pushed us in Owners Club to create and fine tune.
Yeah, absolutely. So people can get a hold of me on my Instagram and on YouTube. It is Luz Ramirez Consulting. Very simple. That's my handle for both. And then I do have a buy box, and all the information can be found on my page, actually, getadealwithluz.com. So if they go there, my buy box is there, my information is there, so they can get a hold of me through both ways.
Okay, fantastic. And if somebody reaches out to you and they can help you with something, what would you like them to reach you out for assistance?
So currently I am trying to secure more properties in the two areas that I mentioned. So I am looking for wholesalers. Obviously we're in Pace's community, so creative finance is the way that we're looking to operate. We want to make sure that we can secure seller finance properties or sub-2 properties that we can then turn them around and set them up as co-living spaces. The other thing that I am working on is multifamily, and mostly in the Sunbelt area. We're looking for properties that could be anywhere between 20 and 200. And the goal there is to work with individuals who are in the Latino community who want to become investors, or maybe they've been workers their whole life. They're laborers and they don't know that they can be owners. And we want to help them by having them become limited partners in our projects. And then that way they can start owning a piece of projects and starting to build that legacy for their families. So that's the other area that I'm working on.
Okay. Wisconsin, right? And you're from Chicago?
I'm in Illinois. I'm actually in Northwest Illinois, about an hour and a half northwest of Chicago. So I'm looking in that area, and then southern Wisconsin, very, very far south Wisconsin, right on the border with us.
Oh, okay.
Yep. And
I
then
know Armando. Go ahead.
northern Florida would be the other area.
Okay. It's Florida as well. Nice. Armando Cruz is in Wisconsin as well. Do you know him?
Yes, I do. I know the Cruz brothers. They're actually up further north, but yes, I do know both of them. Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm not sure of the geography.
Yes, yeah.
Like people tell me about Texas. It's like, oh, we're in your backyard. It's like, Dallas is some hours away from Houston.
Exactly. It's the same way here. When you talk about Southern Illinois or Springfield or anything that's south, you're like, oh, that's a little bit far for me. I'm looking closer to home. Even in Chicago, I would be willing to invest in Chicago, but it's still a distance. It's still a drive. And I think there are plenty of people working in the Chicago area already. I'm better off kind of staying in my backyard where I'm very familiar with the market.
Definitely. So co-living opportunities, those specific markets. But if somebody is already experienced in co-living and is looking for just another partner that can help them out with either funding or some systems and processes or even grants, would you be looking available to partner up with them?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Systems and processes is one of my backgrounds as well. I'm one of my strengths is creating and building teams and growing. So absolutely. I would be very open to that as well.
Awesome. You heard it here. If you want to get in, you've been in co-living already and just need a little bit more help to expand and scale faster. Let's partner up. That's what Squad Up Summit just recently happened, and that's what it's about. Collaboration over competition. Luz says she's got partners that she's worked with as well. We just talked about the Cruz brothers. Shout out to them and their wonderful things that they're doing with the Latino community as well. Drop a comment, hit a like, please subscribe. It's free. What advice do you have for somebody that wants to start as an entrepreneur?
As an entrepreneur, I would say follow whatever your passion is. I think many people struggle with trying to figure out, or saying, I want to start a business. And then they look at what possible businesses they can start, but they're not looking for something that they're passionate about doing. So they may start a business and it fails because they don't know enough about it, or they were just all gung ho about being an entrepreneur. For me, it's where can I put what my strengths are, but also what I absolutely love to do. And then how can I mirror that? How can I connect that with actually being an entrepreneur? And so for me, it's been, in the long term, I know I want to help people. That's what I love to do. I love to help people. And so how can I do it in this journey of being a real estate investor? And I know that I can help people by providing them safe, affordable housing, helping them become self-sufficient. I think that's extremely important. I think a lot of our service agencies or services that are made available tend to be more helping, more of a giving hand, but I don't think that they do enough to pull people along and helping them become self-sufficient. So as I look at what I want to be doing, I want to make sure that I'm helping people become self-sufficient, elevating them so they can also do for themselves and then become successful themselves, not by using the resources, but using it as a step up, not as a handout. So I think that's important. Figure out what your passion is, what you feel your area is and where you fit in, and then pick a career or a business that is going to help you get there. I don't know if that answered your question. I just try to put into perspective with what I'm doing. And I think that I'm creating a business, but the end goal for me is to help people.
That's a great reason. And your perspective is very insightful. There's so many different personalities. So them hearing it from me, it might not resonate. Them hearing it from you, it might resonate. So hopefully somebody hears this and it pushes them to be their own business owner. It's to go from the dream and start. The biggest thing is a lot of people don't start. This episode's going a little different because Luz is super busy and our time's very limited. So we're doing this a little bit backward. But since we've gone through that, what made you get into real estate investing?
So it was interesting. I never had, and I never thought to go into real estate investing. It was more of my husband who one day he read Rich Dad Poor Dad, how many have started in real estate. And he started talking to me about the cash flow quadrant. And he said, you know what, you really should read this book. And I said, okay, yeah, sure. I'll read it when I get a chance. I read it and I was like, okay, it makes a lot of sense. Absolutely. And at that point, it had been a little bit after 2020 COVID. And so I think with most of us, we all started to reflect on our lives and look at things differently after COVID happened. And so that was a kind of like a pivotal point for us where we started thinking about, do I want to be an employee my whole life? I've been working for people my whole life. I've been growing businesses and organizations for other people my whole life. Is this something I really want to continue doing, or is this something that we want to do for ourselves? And my husband was the first one to say, you have so much potential to grow a business that we create, that you've been doing it for so many people for so long. If you could only take your talents and put it to work for us, just imagine where we'll be. And that really kind of planted the seed for me. And so Bigger Pockets came along after, Robert Kiyosaki. We started looking at YouTubes and we're like, oh my gosh, okay, so there's Bigger Pockets. This is a platform where we can learn more and more. And so we'd watch those videos and we learned more, and we were exposed to many different, methods and people and whatnot. And so one day I connected to an accountability group under Brandon Turner, He created this book that he wrote called I think it's the Intentional Journal. And it was something for us to become more focused on our goals and what we wanted to do. And as part of that, he had this platform where we could connect with others within the community. And so I was able to connect to 3 other individuals. 2 of those other individuals were also very gung-ho about real estate investing like I was. At this point, we had already purchased 1 property. And so my husband and I were just starting on the journey. So the other 2 people were also just starting out on the journey. And we started meeting, I want to say weekly or maybe monthly. See, I can't remember. It was so long ago. And well, anyway, we started these meetings, starting to get to know each other. And then one of them said, I was watching Pace Morby and I got on the elephant challenge. And I was like, oh, wow, that's interesting. Maybe I'll check that out. And so then the other one said, you know what? And I actually, the following week, one of the other ones mentioned, I just joined the Gator Method. That's Pace Morby. I had already seen Pace Morby's interview on Bigger Pockets and I was intrigued, but that's all I watched some of his videos, but I wasn't really all in, I guess you could say. So anyway, once I heard about the Gator Method, I'm like, okay, I need to look into this and I need to find out what this is. And I'm very interested now in getting involved. And so I jumped in, I signed up for Gator, and that's how I got involved in actually the community. And then a month later, the 3 of us joined creatively Sub 2. So we partnered up and became members of Sub 2. And they are still in the community. They're doing lots of great things. They're doing transaction coordinating. They've created their own business. They've partnered up. And then I went on my own and I joined Owners Club. And so it's just been one thing after the other. But with every step of the way, it's been a little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of that. And now I'm all in. And so I actually left my job in January. At the end of January was my last full-time, gig with them. I now am consulting for them and they call me as needed, but I'm all in the real estate investing world and doing what I want to do, which is become financially free and work for me. So that's how I ended up in real estate.
Amazing, beautiful reasons. You're doing such great things. I look forward to hearing more things that you're doing, and hopefully I can help you out with some co-living experiences coming up in the future. A couple minutes left. Do you have a resource for people that are domestic situations that can go and where to go to get away from it?
Oh, so most communities will have I'm trying to think what the name is. We have them by different names here. But you can look in your center or in your community, in your local area, and just look for the hotline for domestic violence or for abuse. You can contact, I think, your court and the local court system, judicial court, and then find out what services they have available. And they'll usually redirect or direct to the local shelter or local service agency that provides assistance to survivors of domestic violence. Another place is the city. You call your city. They probably most likely have a human services department. And again, find out through them how you can connect with an organization. If they don't have any of those offices or departments, United Ways are also really good. If you reach out to United Way, they can connect you to an agency or a resource. I'm trying to think other places. I think those are the main ones to be able to find out. Also the internet. If you go to the state department, usually the state has different departments, and most will have a department for domestic or sex or sex, any of those human trafficking, any of those categories all usually fall under against violence against women departments. And so if you go in there and start kind of filtering through, you can search for what's locally in your area. I know it's a very broad answer, but every city or every county operates differently. So it just depends on what city or county you're looking for. I used to work for a YWCA, and we have YWCAs all over the United States. So I would say you can also reach out to your local YWCA and then start there. Part of the mission is to empower women. And if they don't have a service for domestic violence, they know who to reach out to and they know who to connect you with. So that's also an excellent source.
Very helpful information for people that need it. Thank you so much. Again, they can reach you at Luz Ramirez Consulting on Instagram and YouTube. We're going to help her with their YouTube channel, get her motivated to make some more content for that. She's got a wealth of knowledge to give everybody here. Please drop a comment again and shout out to Bigger Pockets. I think you're like the 12th person on the podcast that's mentioned them. Shout out to Pace Morby. Everybody has given him things because he's such a go-giver. Yeah. The Sub 2 community, Gator community, and now an Owners Club. It's amazing. I wouldn't have met you and had this opportunity to have you on the channel if I wasn't an Owners Club. So I'm very thankful to them as well.
Yes, it's been wonderful getting to know you, and it's been wonderful to be in that amazing community that Pace has created, like you mentioned. If it weren't for Pace, we wouldn't be together. We wouldn't really be working on I think, on the projects that we're currently working on and helping the people that we're working on. And it really comes from his go-giver attitude and background. And so just very blessed to have found this community, even if it was through a long path of, Robert Kiyosaki, Bigger Pockets, but it did bring me to Pace and it brought me to Owners Club. So very, very happy to be a part of it.
Yeah, with that, everybody has their own path, so it's okay. You got to make it your own way. If you take the shortcut, you might not be ready for it. So keep on moving forward. Thank you so much, Liz.
Thank you.
Catch this next podcast where you can start your dreams and start to own your time the way these other guests have.